Hey everyone, this is Kathy, the vegan prepper, here today with Mr. Vegan Prepper, Adam.
Hello.
I'm really excited to have him with me today. We're going to be discussing some really cool stuff. Like we keep having these conversations. I'm like, gosh, we should probably film these conversations because we're puzzling out a lot of stuff that I think a lot of people are puzzling out as they're coming into prepping and trying to figure out what is exactly that they are wanting to prepare for. What is their focus going to be? There's just so many options, right? Like focus goes like everywhere. So how do we hone our focus? And then as a little warning, I always have to give, we never know what's going to happen in the background. So if you hear screaming, it's not Tiotowaki, it's just our kids, okay? We might have a little girl run through here, so you guys just kind of gotta roll with it, just like we do. But anyway, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk to you about what our current short-term prepping goal is, and that is the upcoming election. We're going to talk about why we think we need to prepare for that, and kind of the time frame that we're prepping for based on that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
So we are prepping for the election, and we're prepping for a 2-week period after the election, with the assumption that there might be some civil unrest, especially if/when President Trump gets reelected. People will probably be upset, and based on what we've been seeing for the last few months, there will almost certainly be some significant civil unrest.
Yeah.
So our concern is that certain services will be disrupted, food supply, just the ability to go to stores safely. We don't want to have to go to buy something at the store if it's going to be dangerous for us. So we're preparing for a 2-week period following the election that we can stay at home, be fully supplied with everything we need, food, water, toilet paper, whatever supplies we need, for that period of 2 weeks, and assuming that the police will get everything straightened out in a couple of weeks' time.
Hopefully, and hopefully, obviously, hopefully nothing's gonna happen.
Right.
Hopefully, no matter who gets elected, everyone will just chill.
Yes.
You know, I hope so. That's just, but you know, we just don't know, and especially with the way it has been this year, and with the way the media has been. Really, honestly, I feel like if we got rid of media, or the media as we know it, or maybe at least like the corporate structure, corporate sponsored media, which is, you know, everything that they do, because they're a business, right? Everything that they do is about getting money. So the more inflammatory they can be, the more views they can get, the more clicks they can get, the more taps they can get, the happier they are. So I feel like they basically kick the hornet's nest just to watch their numbers rise. You know what I mean? As far as like, so I just feel like there's just so much like that to me almost is more concerning than any actual event, because I feel like they will cause stuff. That's my concern. I just don't trust them anymore at all. Like I never really had a very high opinion of the general mainstream media, but now especially I just like don't trust them as far as I could throw them, you know? So
they're scaring people with the intent of getting more advertising money.
Yes, basically is what it boils down to. Like it used to be real journalism, and I don't know that journalism, does it exist anymore?
It might. I think there's a few.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's hard to find.
Anyway, whatever. But like,
this
even
isn't about that, but
still, no, it's not about that. Sorry, we don't need to get into that. That's a whole other conversation. But like, because like even like, so you have like the stuff that's super far left and the stuff that's super far right, and I don't know that there is anything that's like reliably just like in the middle, just like reporting the facts without like, anyway, trying to whip people up. But anyway, okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm going off track like I do. So yes, for the election, but then also because I was watching, I think it might have been Urban Prepper, and he was talking about the fact that most election years there's something called an October surprise, which is basically a manufactured event in the media that attempts to sway the election one way or the other. And so seeing this year how it has gone thus far, And again, this is never about like creating fear. It's just sort of more about being aware so that you're not blindsided by a certain event taking place. And like I was watching Angry Prepper, and Angry Prepper was talking basically about like the reasons that people they get blindsided is because something happens that they didn't expect, which I know is like really obvious, but for me that was kind of like an aha moment. Like, oh yeah, so like you just kind of like looking around and seeing like what's gonna happen, so you can just kind of try to prepare. So who knows what the heck the October surprise, what form that would take, if it's gonna be like another quarantine, which is another reason that I think a good 2 week supply of food, and then 2 weeks too. Obviously, I would ideally love for it to be more like 3 months.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks is kind of like where we're starting, because
Starting point, yeah.
That's, well, for one, you have to get organized enough to do 2 weeks, and then you have to like, then you can kind of branch out to more like 3 months. But also being that it is still very difficult to buy quantities of food right now. Still, places have limits, and then also just budget wise. We can't just all of a sudden go out and buy 3 months worth of food, so we're building it up slowly. So that's kind of where we're starting, and the reason why we're doing what we're doing, at least currently, and that is just our current focus. And this is assuming that we still have the rule of law. We've got I don't know, police, military, whatever is in place. It's going to still kind of try to keep order. And then assuming we also still have the grid. So like, we're not talking about like a grid down situation or some huge disaster. It's just like preparing for, and like we'll still theoretically have water from the city coming in. Hopefully, so we're not talking about like a full-on disaster situation. We're talking about basically what we kind of have already been seeing this year, which is just having to bunk in at home, and
A lot of disruptions to our normal way of life.
Yeah, and the food supply too. And that's kind of my concern going forward, is that we will continue to see disruptions to the food supply. And so trying to get ready to make sure that we're okay with that. And again, it's just like awareness and like having that knowledge, being prepared, right? So that we are not the people out there doing the panic buying. Like, we're not contributing to that problem of not enough food on the shelves because we've already been set, So, I don't know. Yeah. Good. So, I guess, do you want to talk about our 2-week supply? So now that you throw out, because I hear prepper channels all the time throw out these things, and very rarely do I hear a breakdown of exactly how you put that together. So we can talk about the breakdown that we've done so far for us, to start like getting into our planning and making sure that we have enough.
Yeah. So for me, my priority was first and foremost water. It's the thing that you can live without the least amount of time. So 3 days without water and you're done. So my priority was making sure we have enough drinkable water for all 5 of us for a 2-week period of time. Assuming, we are assuming that the resources will still be coming. We'll be able to turn the faucet on and water will come out. But just in case, we are going to have a 2-week supply of drinking water, just so that we have it. And for us, that's 70 gallons of water, 5 of us at a gallon a day. Then second was food. We can't live for 2 weeks without food, but it wouldn't be a very fun 2 weeks. I think they say you can live for 3 weeks. I'm pretty skinny, so I might not be able to live.
I'm not skinny, but I'd be cranky. I'd be really mad about it.
So we have a plan for 42 meals. That's 2 weeks of 3 meals a day, and calorie breakdown is different for each person. But for us, we're looking at 12,000 calories a day.
No,
is that no? That's wrong.
That's not right. Sorry, I wrote a different figure.
Yeah. 10,200 calories a day.
Yeah, so I just basically went through each person in our family, from Adam to me to our 2 sons, and then our daughter who's like 2. And then it's like, I just Googled like calorie needs for each person for each day. And then I got figures of basically that added up to 10,200 calories per day is like our minimum that we will need. Times 14 is 142,800 calories. So that's just the figure that now I have in my mind that when I go through our food stores and begin to actually really actively do our calorie inventory, which I've spoken about in some other videos, that when I get food in and when it goes into the storage, I Sharpie the total calories on the item so that once I get back to do this, it's a lot easier. So I can just say, do we have that many calories in storage? Okay, cool. And then at that point, I'll begin to break down now how much of each nutrient do we have, or what does that look like in actual meals. But first of all, it will just be about making sure that we have that many calories in our storage. And then we'll get a little more detailed on it, so.
Yeah, if we have the bare minimum of calories, figure we're not going to sacrifice our health too much over a 2-week period of time if we don't have, say, greens or vitamins type stuff. If we have beans and rice, we can live for 2 weeks without any problem.
Yeah.
And still be healthy at the end of it. So.
Yeah. We'll have greens though.
Yeah.
Because I'm growing them outside. Yeah. So yeah. But that's kind of like where we are as far as that goes. And so yeah, that's our current, and then like I guess some of the nitty-gritty of the details of exactly how we are making sure that we are prepared. And we actually already are. We're pretty close to 70 gallons, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're pretty much there. I just landed a 55-gallon drum on Facebook Marketplace for free. So yeah.
Blue Barrel, not a 55-gallon metal drum.
Yeah, like the plastic one. And then it was out, so like you have to be concerned, I guess, right? Because you were the one that brought that up, so maybe you should talk about that.
Yeah. It's helpful if you have some history of where the barrel came from. Sometimes chemicals are stored in the barrel, and sometimes it's just food stuff. You can get certified food safe barrels. They cost a lot more. If you get a free barrel off of Facebook Marketplace, you don't necessarily know what was in it, but we're going to wash it out really well.
Yeah, and then also I felt a little better because it was being offered with kind of a lump of, not a lump, a group of items. And one of the things was a home water filtration unit. So my assumption, we're still going to wash it out really well, but my assumption is that they were actually using it to catch rainwater and had a filtration system hooked up to it. So hopefully.
And we will be filtering that water before we drink it.
Yes,
so
we will. Like if we even end up using it to drink it. Because we do have our Berkey water filter, which is one of the things that we did recently purchase. That was, again, with this water thing in mind. And it relaxes us a little bit too, because again, we're assuming that there will still be city services and water coming in through our faucet and all of that. So now we will just be able to filter it through our Berkey. So we don't have to necessarily worry about storing that much bottled water. So anyway. Yeah. So all that being said, I don't know, like, I guess that's probably all we need to talk about in this video about the prepping. Yeah. Or do you want to discuss a little bit more about some other important things?
I don't know.
To think about. Or I think we're pretty good. Like I think we're good for this video on discussing, exactly what are we prepping for, and then outlining that and getting that. Hopefully that was really helpful, like, because basically I just had to do the calorie thing myself, and I just coming up with that myself because I haven't heard anybody else talk about it. It's like yes, I know what I'm supposed to do, but how do I do it? So, anyway.
Can we talk about why we're not prepping for the end of the world?
Oh gosh.
I mean,
I guess we could, or we could film another video at some point and talk about that.
Okay. Subscribe. You'll get that video later.
Subscribe. Yes, this is the teaser. You can get more of this. I'm bringing the eye candy on here. Yes, look at that. Look at that look. Do that look again. Okay. Sorry. Okay, Okay, all right. I guess that's all. So thank you so much for watching. And yes, like Adam said, go ahead and like and subscribe. Comment down below with any questions that you have. Definitely be looking forward to more content coming from this guy right here. He's got a couple video ideas he's going to be uploading soon, including, I think, a knife review, you said, and an everyday carry for him. What is his everyday carry? And he is just so wonderful. I feel like people will want to watch you more than they'll want to watch me.
Doubt it.
You're the best, though. All right, cool. Anyway, I guess that's all. So as always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.